Have you ever felt like something was off about someone in your life, but couldn't put your finger on it? Maybe you've ignored the little signs or brushed them off as nothing, but deep down, you knew something wasn't quite right. What if I told you that there are red flags, clear warning signs that someone next to you might be hiding a much darker side? In this video, we're going to uncover 7 red flags that reveal the person next to you might not be who they seem. Whether it's a friend, colleague, or even a partner, these signs could be telling you that their intentions are far from good. Watch closely, because the truth might shock you. 1. They always play the victim. One of the most classic red flags that reveals a person's darker side is when they constantly play the victim. No matter what happens, they always seem to position themselves as the one who is wronged, the one who's been hurt, or the one who's been misunderstood. It's a subtle yet powerful form of manipulation. This person will have a story for everything that makes them appear innocent, no matter how chaotic or destructive their actions have been. They might claim to be the victim of circumstances, always blaming others for their failures, bad decisions, or mistakes. You will rarely, if ever, hear them admit they were wrong or take accountability for their actions. Instead, they'll find a way to shift the blame, twist the narrative, and portray themselves as the one who is constantly mistreated. The problem is, this tactic is designed to make you feel guilty for holding them accountable, and it's a way for them to escape responsibility. Why it's dangerous? This behavior often goes unnoticed, especially in relationships, because it's cloaked in a guise of innocence. The person seems to be constantly in a position where they need your sympathy or help. Over time, you may start to doubt your own perspective, as they convince you that you're the one misunderstanding the situation. You may find yourself going out of your way to help them, or even making excuses for their behavior. But here's the truth. This cycle can become draining, and their victim mentality is just a way to manipulate your emotions and keep you on their side. When you're around a person who always plays the victim, it's crucial to realize that this is an emotional manipulation tactic, one that will only hold you hostage in a cycle of guilt and confusion. By denying their own agency and responsibility, they disempower you. This makes it harder for you to move forward or have a healthy relationship with them. They thrive on your emotional labor, and they want you to constantly support them, no matter what they do. True strength comes from taking ownership of your actions and learning from mistakes, not from shifting blame. If you're dealing with someone who always seems to be playing the victim, take a step back and look at the bigger picture. You'll start to see that the pattern is designed to make you doubt your own perception and to create an environment where they control the narrative. A person who genuinely wants to grow and build strong relationships will admit their mistakes, reflect on their actions, and work toward bettering themselves. But someone who only plays the victim doesn't want growth. They want control, and that is a dangerous game to play in your life. 2. They have no empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's the cornerstone of healthy relationships, as it allows us to connect, support, and show kindness to those around us. But when someone lacks empathy, it's a red flag that reveals a much darker side to their character. People who have no empathy are incapable of recognizing or caring about the emotional needs of others. They may seem cold, indifferent, or even completely unaware of the hurt they cause. For them, other people's emotions are often irrelevant. Whether it's a friend going through a tough time, a family member feeling down, or a colleague struggling, someone without empathy won't care to listen or offer support. Instead, they might dismiss your feelings with statements like, "Why are you making a big deal out of this?" or "You're too sensitive." In extreme cases, people who lack empathy can even enjoy causing others pain, emotionally, physically, or psychologically. They might find pleasure in manipulating or exploiting others, seeing your vulnerability as an opportunity to control or take advantage of you. This is one of the most dangerous characteristics to look out for, as it means that the person is more interested in their own self-interest than in considering how their actions impact those around them. Why it's dangerous? When you're around someone who doesn't care about how you feel, it's impossible to have a healthy, balanced relationship. They won't respect your boundaries, won't validate your emotions, and often won't even apologize when they've hurt you. Over time, you might feel emotionally drained, unimportant, or misunderstood. Your feelings and needs will take a back seat to their desires, and you'll find yourself compromising your well-being just to keep the peace. People who lack empathy might not necessarily be evil in the traditional sense, but their lack of compassion can cause significant harm. If they consistently fail to put themselves in your shoes, if they seem to disregard your pain or challenges, or if they actively exploit your emotions for their own gain, this is a major warning sign. They're either completely self-centered, or they might be using you for their own personal benefit. A lack of empathy is often coupled with a desire for control, manipulation, or cruelty. When you encounter someone who shows no empathy, it's time to distance yourself. These people will never understand the value of genuine connection, and your emotional well-being will always come second to their own needs and desires. 3. They are charming, but only to get what they want. One of the most deceptive traits of someone with a dark side is their ability to charm their way into people's lives. Charming individuals know exactly what to say, how to act, and when to turn on the charisma to win you over. At first, they'll seem like the perfect friend, lover, or colleague. They'll be warm, generous, and extremely attentive. But beneath that pleasant exterior, their motives are not as pure as they seem. These individuals use their charm as a tool for manipulation. They want to gain your trust and affection, but not out of genuine love or friendship. They want to get something from you. Whether it's money, power, control, or a favor, they will exploit your emotions to achieve their goals. Once they have what they need, their charming side quickly disappears, and the real, darker side of their personality shows up. They might suddenly become distant, uninterested, or even cold once they've gotten what they wanted. They won't feel any remorse because they never had any real connection to you. They were simply using you as a means to an end. If things don't go their way, they may turn on you or even start gaslighting you to shift the blame. Why it's dangerous? The charm that initially drew you to them is a mask, a well-crafted performance designed to lower your guard and make you trust them. In the beginning, it's easy to fall for their smooth talk and seemingly genuine behavior. However, once they've gained your confidence, they might manipulate you into doing things for them, or enable their harmful actions without you realizing it. This behavior can be particularly dangerous in relationships because it builds on emotional deception. You may feel like you're bonding with someone only to discover that they've been using you the whole time. In the workplace or in social settings, they might charm their way to the top or secure benefits that they didn't deserve, leaving you and others feeling betrayed or used. It's important to recognize when someone's charm is more about manipulation than connection. Genuine people are kind, helpful, and considerate without ulterior motives. If someone is only sweet when they need something from you, or if their behavior drastically changes once they've achieved their goal, that's a major red flag that they are not who they appear to be. Their charm is a weapon, and once you realize it, it's crucial to distance yourself before you get caught in their web of manipulation. 4. They use guilt to control you. One of the most toxic and manipulative behaviors that reveals someone's true nature is their ability to use guilt as a weapon to control and dominate. Evil individuals understand that guilt is a powerful emotion. It can make you feel responsible for things you didn't do, or worse, things that are not your fault. They will play on your emotions, twisting situations to make you feel guilty for standing up for yourself or not meeting their demands. They might say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me?" Or, "I thought you cared about me, but I guess I was wrong." These statements are calculated to put the weight of their expectations on your shoulders. It's all about manipulation and making you feel obligated to meet their needs, even if it goes against your own well-being. Someone who uses guilt to control you will often make you question your own choices and actions. They'll subtly or overtly suggest that you owe them or that you're letting them down by not complying with their demands. This emotional manipulation can make you feel like you constantly have to apologize or make up for something, even when you haven't done anything wrong. Over time, this tactic wears you down, causing you to feel like you're never enough, or that you're constantly disappointing them. Why it's dangerous. Guilt tripping can be incredibly harmful because it undermines your sense of self-worth. You may find yourself constantly putting the needs of the manipulator ahead of your own. Instead of enjoying a healthy, balanced relationship where both parties give and take, you become their emotional caretaker. They benefit from your emotional labor, while you become drained, resentful, and unable to assert your own needs. The problem with this manipulation tactic is that it makes you doubt your decisions and actions. If you're constantly made to feel like you're not doing enough or not meeting someone's emotional needs, it becomes harder to maintain boundaries. Over time, this can lead to emotional burnout, feelings of guilt and shame, and a sense of being trapped. It's crucial to recognize when someone is using guilt to control you. Healthy relationships are based on mutual respect and understanding, not on emotional blackmail. If someone is consistently making you feel guilty for things that aren't your responsibility, it's time to set clear boundaries and protect your emotional health. 5. They lack empathy and don't understand your pain. A clear red flag that someone may have a darker side is their lack of empathy. The inability or unwillingness to understand or care about how you feel. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to feel their joy, sorrow, or pain, and to respond with care and consideration. However, someone with malicious intentions will completely lack this ability. They might dismiss your feelings, belittle your struggles, or even make fun of your pain. For example, if you're going through a tough time, they may respond with something like, "Get over it. It's not a big deal," or "Everyone goes through that." This shows they have no interest in truly understanding or supporting you. In extreme cases, a person with no empathy might actively enjoy seeing others suffer. They might take pleasure in your distress, using your vulnerabilities as a means of controlling or manipulating you. They may even escalate situations, stirring up drama, or creating conflict simply because they don't care about the consequences to others' emotional well-being. Why it's dangerous. A lack of empathy is a major warning sign of a toxic individual. These people do not care about your emotional state, your struggles, or your needs. They only care about what they can get from you or how you make them feel. They may see you as a tool for their own benefit, treating your feelings with indifference or even using your emotional pain to manipulate you into compliance. Without empathy, these individuals are incapable of genuine connection. Relationships with them are one-sided. Your feelings and needs are irrelevant to them. You might find yourself constantly compromising, trying to explain or justify your emotions, only to be met with insensitivity or apathy. Over time, this can erode your own sense of worth, as you'll feel emotionally unsupported and invalidated. It's important to distance yourself from people who lack empathy because they cannot provide the emotional support or care that healthy relationships require. If someone consistently fails to show understanding or compassion for your feelings, it's not just a red flag. It's a clear sign that they are not emotionally equipped to be a positive presence in your life. Protect yourself from the emotional harm of these individuals and focus on building relationships with those who truly care about your well-being. 6. They play the victim to manipulate others. An evil person knows how to manipulate situations and shift the blame onto others, even when they are the ones causing harm. One of the most subtle but dangerous tactics they use is playing the victim, portraying themselves as the one who is constantly wronged, misunderstood, or mistreated. By doing this, they deflect attention away from their own toxic behavior and paint themselves as the innocent party. For example, when caught in a lie, or when their actions are called into question, they may say things like, "I can't believe you're treating me this way after everything I've done for you," or, "Why is everyone always against me? I've done nothing wrong." This victim mentality allows them to manipulate the narrative and guilt-trip others into believing they are the ones who are being unfairly attacked or misunderstood. In situations where they have hurt you or taken advantage of you, they may twist the story and act like they were the ones suffering. They may even get others to feel sorry for them or support them in their manipulation, causing you to appear as the aggressor or the problem in the relationship. Why it's dangerous? Playing the victim is a powerful manipulation tactic because it shifts the focus away from the manipulator's wrongdoing and places it squarely on the victim, often making them feel guilty or responsible for the manipulator's feelings. This technique can create a toxic cycle where you are constantly apologizing for things you didn't do and accommodating their demands, while they continue to hurt you without taking any responsibility for their actions. By portraying themselves as the victim, they avoid accountability and escape any consequences for their behavior. This makes it difficult for you to address the issues in the relationship because the manipulator has already turned the tables, making you feel like the one at fault. Over time, this can cause you to second-guess yourself, lose confidence, and doubt your perception of reality. Recognizing when someone is playing the victim is crucial because it allows you to break free from their manipulation. Healthy relationships are based on mutual accountability, honesty, and respect, not on blame-shifting or guilt-tripping. If someone constantly portrays themselves as the victim and refuses to take responsibility for their actions, it's a clear sign that they are not interested in genuine resolution or growth, but rather in maintaining control over you. 7. They have a history of toxic relationships. One of the most telling red flags that reveals a person's true nature is their history of toxic relationships. Evil or manipulative individuals often leave a trail of damaged relationships in their wake, whether it's with family, friends, co-workers, or romantic partners. If you notice that they've been involved in a string of broken relationships, it's important to take a closer look at the pattern. Chances are, they were the common denominator in all of them. These individuals might tell you stories about how they were constantly mistreated or betrayed by their exes, but if you listen carefully, the narrative might sound too one-sided. They may speak of how everyone has wronged them, but never acknowledge their own contributions to the breakdown of those relationships. They might even have blame shifted or distorted the truth to make themselves look like the victim. If you find that they have been involved in numerous toxic dynamics, it's a red flag. This could include constant drama, emotional abuse, or manipulative behavior that was present in each relationship. No one is perfect, and every relationship has its challenges. But someone with a history of destructive relationships often carries these same unhealthy patterns into new connections. It's a sign that they have unresolved issues or a tendency to create conflict and chaos wherever they go. Why it's dangerous. A person with a history of toxic relationships often fails to take responsibility for their role in the issues they faced. They continue to repeat the same toxic behaviors, which can severely affect your well-being. Even if they appear charming or apologetic at first, these patterns are likely to reappear in the future, leading to emotional harm or manipulation. When you engage with someone who has a history of toxic relationships, you risk becoming the next casualty in their emotional chaos. It's important to ask yourself, why has this person not maintained healthy relationships in the past? If their past is filled with hurt and conflict, it's likely that they haven't learned from their mistakes and will bring the same problems into your life. The best way to protect yourself is to pay attention to their past actions and recognize the patterns that may signal further trouble ahead. Now that you know these red flags, don't ignore them. Trust your intuition and protect yourself from people who bring negativity into your life. Recognizing these signs early can save you from emotional pain and give you the strength to move forward. Always prioritize your peace, and remember, your happiness and well-being should never be compromised.